Morning. Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Doesn't look too green today, does it? It's Easter Sunday, and it snowed, as you can see. That happens up here in the north. It's kind of nice because April showers bring Mayflowers, so I'm happy about it. Hey, listen, I've been thinking about this thing that has happened last Thursday, the little pig issue, and turns out the pig's name is Cesar Mcgees, and it's a topic around here because it has bothered us, and we're trying to identify why. And I got to give you a little bit of the backstory on this because a lot of you are coming into this and don't know what has happened here in the state of Michigan with the Department of Natural Resources as far as pigs are concerned. Now, I didn't know anything about the DNR before this. I've never had any contact with them at all. But in 2012, they came out with a list of characteristics. There was 9 of them. And if your pig had any one of those characteristics, they said your pig is a wild pig. It didn't matter if it was behind fences, your pig was a wild pig. And you're going to say, well, there's got to be 2 sides to the story. I could keep reading that on the internet. There's 2 sides to the story. There's not 2 sides to the story. That's what they said. And they said that we have a tremendous problem with feral pigs in the state of Michigan, and they have to deal with it somehow. Okay, so we sued them. I'm a farmer and I raise Mangalitsa pigs, and my pigs had 7 of the 9 characteristics, and possibly 8, because the 9th characteristic was other characteristics not currently known. And you know, I've been making videos lately talking about the culture of death that our state government has become so famous for. And in the culture of death, they don't have to make sense because they got the guns and they got the power. And they've put together a system where they take money from you, they build their organizations and their arsenal, and they can come out with a stupid statement like other characteristics not currently known, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So that's kind of the backstory on this this latest incident and why this officer felt justified in shooting this little pig. And let me tell you what happened here is these people, and I've spoken with them on the phone, and I know people that know them. They're north of me. They're not farmers. He's actually a miner. And they had 2 dogs and a pig, and the pig thinks it's one of the dogs. And the DNR officer pulled up at the end of their driveway, and the 2 dogs and the pig come running out to him to get a treat, because I think the FedEx man probably gives treats to the dogs. And the officer pulled his weapon and shot the pig, and threw it in the back of his pickup, took off with it, and had it sent down to Lansing to be tested, and then came back to the house and informed the people that he just killed their pet, and showed no remorse because he thought it was a wild pig. Now, a little bit more backstory. When this happened to us, when the DNR leveled this, what they call the declaratory ruling, and that declaratory ruling is what outlined the characteristics that if you had a pig with a straight tail, it's illegal. You got a pig with a curly tail, it's illegal. You got a black pig, it's illegal. You got a pig with erect ears, illegal. A pig with floppy ears, illegal. And then other characteristics not currently known, and several colors that they put in there. And then other foolish statements. I mean, it's totally foolish. We sued the DNR. Baker Farms sued the DNR. It was a long process because they kept stalling. It took 3 years. And in the meantime, they scared everybody so bad about our pigs that we almost had to lose the farm. We almost went out of business. So they destroyed our business and would not speak with us. They just do this stuff behind the scenes. They have all these state agencies that they can call in to make life difficult for us and squeeze us. And when we were within 10 days of our trial, they dropped all charges. And this was the Attorney General's office that led the charge here. In the meantime, I was fined $700,000. I had 70 pigs, and they wanted $10,000 fine for each pig. There's never been a fine like that in Michigan against an agricultural operation in history. I'm an 80-acre farm. I work here with my wife and kids. I'm a retired GI, military. I'm not manufacturing methamphetamine here or anything like that. It's all above board. They can come and look anytime they want. Anybody can. Our farm is an open place. It's a good place for kids and all that stuff. We're not doing anything wrong. We don't pollute, anything like that. I guess you'd classify us as organic type people. But 10 days prior to the trial, they dropped all charges against me. And that was a travesty because we wanted to get to trial. Why? Because we wanted to press the state in a court of law to prove to us that there was a feral swine problem in the state. At that time, they had no evidence. It was all just stuff that they said. And there's a lot to know there. They got a lot of funding from the federal government. It really comes down to money. And it was a way that they could push the small farmers out so the big farmers could just have all the market share. It really comes down to money. But that's what happened. And the conservation officers got stuck in the middle of it. They know better. These are not stupid people. But they're trying to justify their position in this. And that's why when Elton Luce, the officer that shot Cesar Mcgees, saw this little pig, he thought, oh, here's an awesome chance for me to get a feral pig. We'll take it to Lansing and we'll say, look, we found one. We found one. But I think he got remorseful after he shot it. And then he went back to them and he said, I shot your pig. But he didn't show them any remorse. Anyway, that's what happened. That's the backstory on this. And the reason why this is so important is because as American citizens, you have constitutional rights. And a lot of you new guys coming into this now, because of Cesar, you're on board now, and I need you on board. And what I need you to do is I need you to download the Bill of Rights. It's real easy. Go Google Bill of Rights, U.S. Constitution. Download that. Read those. They're yours. There's 10 of them. You can read it in a half an hour. And some of the language in there is old language, but just read it, get it in you. Those are your rights. They are the supreme rights, the supreme law of this land. Supreme, that means nothing comes above them. The DNR can have a policy, but it doesn't supersede your rights, all right? Read those, know those. The reason why what Luce did was, it showed a total lack of humanity, and that's what this culture of death is about. Total lack of humanity. The guy's not even human to shoot somebody's pig like that, but it was also illegal. So we have to plot a course of action here to get things on track, all right? State agencies, frankly, are out of control. And there is an answer here, and this could be where we begin, all right? When I went through my problem with the state, I was just a farmer out here. I didn't know anything. I had sworn an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States 6 times in my career as a military person. But had I read it? Sadly, no. I knew I had the right to free speech. I knew I had the right to own and bear a firearm, but that was about it. But there is a course of action here, and I want you to stay tuned on this. I'm going to keep this short, but there is more coming. And in the meantime, I want to instruct people to do nothing at this point. Just circulate the story, think about it, and think about where we are going. If it is okay for an agent of the state to pull up at the end of your driveway and shoot one of your animals. I don't care if it's a pig, a ferret, or a tiger. You are American citizens, and you have the right to have your process or your property secured under due process of law. You have the right to do that. And just because this guy says, well, it's our policy, it's about the same as, employees here at the Baker Farm having a policy. We shoot low-flying aircraft with M1 rifles. That's our policy. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it legal, all right? And they are no different. They are no different. They're an organization that's created out of nothing to perform a function for us, all right? They've become our masters, though, and that has to change. All right, this is Mark from Baker's Green Acres cutting out, but I will be back to you. Please stay tuned and keep circulating this story because people need to know about this. This is just one story that's a peak. It's a mountain peak that everybody can see, but this stuff's going on all the time. This is no different than when you get abused by conservation officers when you're out fishing with your kid, all right? This has to come to an end. Stay tuned. Thank you.